Hey everyone, this is Baron with Mighty Mud again. This is our fourth week doing the kit boxes with the clay. I just want to show you one of the results from last week. So this is one of the mugs that we made in the video. This is Mighty Mud M on our mug, and so this is our blue glaze. Drinking my coffee out of this morning. So if you've picked one before, make sure you choose a glaze so we can get that glaze back to you and bring it back. For this week, we are doing a pinch pot owl. So on the website, you'll see step-by-step instructions in pictures and in a print form. But we're also doing a video. Yesterday, my wife made one, and so this is hers. So it's beautiful. It's got a nice big brow ridge. So I'm going to do a similar one, but mine's going to be a little different. So you guys can, do whatever you like, but we'll show you some techniques and ways to do that. Your box will come like this on the shelf outside. So inside, you'll have clay. So you'll have a large ball of clay and a small ball of clay. You'll have a plastic knife, and you'll have a heavy-duty toothpick. Okay, this has two different ends: a pointy and a blade end. So those are the tools we need for this week. And then we'll need some other things. We'll need a little bit of water, and then we'll talk about other things as we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to get our big ball of clay and make a ball. And so it should be kind of like a ball already for you, but it might flatten a little as it gets to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb and we're going to push it down right in the middle of that ball of clay. Okay, this is the basics of every pinch pot. Okay, so what we're doing is sticking a nice big hole all the way down about a quarter to half inch from the bottom. Okay, once we have that, we start pinching. So that's the nature of a pinch pot, and so I'm going to squeeze and turn this ball of clay as I'm working with it. And what that's doing is it's making it come up into a cup or a cylinder. So this will take a minute. Notice I'm turning it as I go. I'm also making sure when I pinch, I don't pinch sharp edges on the top, because that will break and make the clay fall apart. And so I'm just slowly pinching and trying to make sure I keep nice even pinches. I'm not pinching too hard or too soft, something middle, and slowly getting that up into the shape I want. And so your owl can be whatever shape you want. It can be nice and round, it could be flat, straight up and down. That's totally up to you. This is your project. We can use these as cups. You can put pens or pencils in it. You could, it's food safe, so you can, like I said, you could use it for a drinking cup or eating out of. You could use it for a bird feeder or squirrel feeder. You can also use it as a planter for a small plant or even an air plant. Okay, when you first get your bowl/cup pinched out, it might be a little rough on the outside. And so what I want you to do is slowly use your fingers to smooth that out. We want a nice even surface all the way around as much as possible. This might take you a little longer than me, that's okay. Okay, I'm almost there. I want to get just a little taller. So I'm slowly bringing that clay in a little bit so it can be a little taller. Okay, so it's similar size to the other owl right now, so I'm close. I want to bring my bottom in a little bit. I want it to be a little more up like this. Notice I'm using both hands, but you don't have to. You can just use one hand if it's easier for you and just keep turning. It's just experience for me that I've done it, so, but you can do whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, I'm pretty much where I need to be, and so this is the fun step. So one of the big steps we have to do right now, it's one of the hardest ones, is we have to wait. So once you get your shape and you've got it smoothed out, I'm checking on all the smoothness now. Make sure I get that right. What you need to do is set it aside and walk away for half an hour. Do something, eat a snack or something. That way your clay can set up a little bit. Don't put anything over it. Leave it out on the table or wherever you're working and let it firm up for about a half an hour. And I'll see you then. Hey, welcome back, y'all. So I don't know about you, but that was the hardest part, waiting 30 minutes and making sure this was ready to go. What we want is this to not be kind of squishy. We want it to be kind of firm. And if we take our clean hand, not wet, and touch it, we shouldn't come away with any clay on your hand. So that's when you know you're ready. Okay? Alright, our next step, we have to decide what the front is. Okay? So the front for me is going to be this side facing you. And what I'm going to do is I have to push in 2 indents where the eyes are going to be. We're not talking about hard, like really big pushes, but a little bit of a push here and here. And this is where we're going to put the eyes. Okay, we just have to decide. So 2 indents. Very simple. Keep it simple. Now we need to make the eyes. Set that aside. So now you have your other ball of clay. And what we're going to do is flatten that. We're going to use the flattened parts to cut out all the stuff we need. So you can make this pretty thin. You can use a rolling pin if you want. Or it's fun to hit things, right? Like smash things that you're supposed to hit, not your brother. That's fun too. So flattening that out. And now we need some circles. So for me, I grabbed a couple things. I've got a quarter, I've got a penny. Those are probably going to be my circles. There's PVC pipe. I'm sure you have all kinds of things, cookie cutters, anything around your house that could work for your circles. So like I said, I'm going to start with a quarter, so I need 2 of these. So I'm just going to sketch out what I need. So I need 2 circles like that. You can use your knife or this little needle tool or anything you have at home. So I'm going to cut out my circles. Set aside. Okay, it's a little messy, that's fine. You just need to smooth it out with your fingers. Make it a nice round circle. If it's too thick, you can just push it down a little bit, all the way even across. Make it a little flatter. That's what I'm doing now. Make sure it's smooth. Alright. Then what we need to do is a thing called scratch and attach. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our toothpick, our heavy duty toothpick, and where the eyes are, the holes that or the indents we made, I'm going to scratch into those lines. Scratch right in the middle. Okay, so I roughed that up pretty good. You see there where I scratched all that. Okay. Now the back of the eyes, I'm going to do the same thing too. So the scratches meet each other. So I'm scratching the back of this. Scratching the back of this. I'm going to take my finger or a little paintbrush, put a dab of water on here, and a dab of water on the spot where I'm putting the circle. And I'm going to push those together. Hand on the outside, hand on the inside, fingers, and pushing that on. Okay, so I push that pretty good. Right there. Same with the other one. Push that on. Okay. Now we need the smaller circle. Using a penny, could probably use a dime, it would have been a little smaller. So we'll see if I have to trim it at all. You can also just use, like you saw on my wife's, a little ball of clay and then mush it into the middle there. Whatever works for you, however you think your owl should look. always look up on Pinterest or National Geographic to see what owl eyes look like. See how close you can get to that. National Geographic on the cable is one of my favorite channels. I pretty much just turn it on, let it go all day. Alright, so I've got two pupils, as it were, for my owl. I'm going to do the same thing. A scratch in the middle of the eyes we've already put on. Then I'll scratch the back of the smaller circles. And attach with a little water. Doing the same method. So right now my owl has some pretty buggy eyes, right? So we can work on that if we need to. I'll probably push a little bit. There we go. Squeeze those in a little bit. So maybe my owl wears glasses. Alright, now if you notice on my wife's there's a brow ridge where owls have that thing between their eyes. So we're going to put that on next. And what we do is we take some of our clay here. Won't know how much we need yet, but we'll play with it. So what I'm going to do is squeeze up into a ball and roll out a snake, okay? A worm, or it's called a coil in ceramics. So just going to do it with my hand or on the table, whatever works for you. And I don't need it to be real thick. This can be pretty thin. So I'm going to roll part of this, take off the rest. So it seems to be plenty. Alright, now I'm going to look at the placement. So it's going to go between the eyes and up. How's that look? That's not too bad. Alright, so same thing for anything we put on, clay on clay, we have to scratch and attach. So I'm going to scratch where that goes, down between the eyes, V, and up the sides. I'm calling it a brow ridge, but I'm not sure if that's really what it is. It's probably something to do with feathers that I don't know. Alright, now I'm going to scratch the back of our coil. And just like before, I'm taking a little water, putting it on there. A little water on here, just a little, and then attaching that. Mine's either a barn owl or a screech owl. What do you guys think? Yeah, we're gonna find out. Alright, so next he needs a beak. So beaks and mouths are the same thing on an owl, right? So you only need one more thing for the face. And then we'll work on the feet and the wings for mine. So for Ursula's, my wife, she did not do wings specifically, but she did a whole texture on the outside. And she used just a plastic spoon to go in and put those feather marks on. So I think she did a really good job. Alright, so I've got my clay here. I'm going to pinch off a little piece and flatten it. And owls don't have a very big beak, it seems like. So I'm just going to cut out a small triangle. You can make it whatever size you like. So this is my little triangle, tiny, but it's a tiny owl, so it's okay. Scratch where I want it to go, just like before. Scratch the back of the beak. A little bit of water. press that on. Boop. Boop. That's how we do with noses, right? Boop. Alright, so my owl face is coming together, I think. Not bad. Alright, so now we're going to do wings and feet. So I'm going to do the wings first. On mine, like I said, I'm doing separate, like, flappable or kind of things. So a couple shapes to think about. You can think about a teardrop or a paisley, and it has to be about the size of the sides, you know, of your owl. So I'm flattening this again. I'll go pretty flat with this. And just kind of eyeball the shape. So I'm going to go with that teardrop thought. Okay, so about like that. And then to make sure they would both look the same, all I need to do is set this back on the top of the clay and cut out the other one with the same, like a template. Alright, keep saving your clay, trying to let it dry out. Well, we got a couple more things to go. Alright, so I have my wings. I'm going to smooth out the edges just a little bit. Now I need to decide how they go on. That looks pretty good. So I'm putting the thicker part toward the front, but you can do however you want. So in just a second I'll show you. I'm going to scratch and attach. Over the water a little bit. That on. So you kind of see my wing. See, he's getting ready to fly away. Try to match the other side. As best I can. It won't be perfect. That's okay. Water. We'll push on either side. Make sure that's on there good. You don't want to lose a wing. Alright, so our owl has wings. He can fly as needed. Alright, so a couple things left. We're going to do some feet and maybe a tail feather. Alright, so I want to make two small balls. And then kind of pinch them into a wedge shape. Okay? So, looking at this, so kind of a wedge. So two balls, and then pinch the back to create a wedge shape. Then I'm going to take my knife, a plastic knife, and create toes or talons. I guess owls have talons because they're raptors. And I'm going to push in here and here. See what that looks like? Yeah. I'm going to push down the back corner a little bit, make that a little flatter. Do the same with the other one. Push in, then push down on the back corner. So we have two potential owl feet. Feet. There we go. Alright, now you know the story here. Where it's going to attach, I'm going to scratch the back of the foot here, and the back of the foot here, and then I got to figure out where it goes on. Okay, so I'm looking underneath. I picked some spots, so I'm going to scratch here, right at the base, right where it turns into the bottom. Water here, water here, water here, water here. And then attach my feet. Squish. Squish. Okay. So our owl has feet. Now it can stand. Then you set down the table and make sure everything's clean and neat. Good. Beautiful. And last thing, I want to make a tail feather. I don't know exactly what an owl tail feather looks like, but I have an, I can make an estimated guess. So I'm thinking it's gonna kind of do this at the top. So we'll see what you think. So that is my tail feather. I'm gonna take that knife like we were doing before and kind of create some feather designs in that. It's a little like a turkey. That's alright. There you go. Alright, so now I gotta attach that to the back, and you know the drill. So I'm gonna scratch where it attaches. Just the bottom half, I think, because I want it to flare out a little bit. And look at where that goes. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Water and water. Push it on. Just like that, our owl has a tail feather. Look at that. Fancy. Alright guys, that is it for this project. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you again. Make sure you bring by your projects. If you want to add texture to the outside of your owl like my wife did, you can use a spoon, you can use a knife to make little tail feather markings and such. Have fun with it. It's your owl. So we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.